everyone. Welcome back with Cherish and Empower. I'm Annie Emprima-Martin.
And I'm Karen, Cherish, Noel. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, and we're here to talk about safety, the word safe and safety.
Which we got from last time because we were talking about how safety is such a motivator. So Annie was talking about how that's, in our first episode, we picked a couple of words. And those words were the high vibrating words that we wanted to get back to when something less highly vibrating was happening in our world, right? So Annie started to talk about safety and what that means to her. And what we realized is that safety is such a motivator. So we wanted to talk about how we define that. So Annie, will you remind us what your kind of definition of safety was, and then I'll share?
Yes, safety. Being a military vet, I don't, I have guns in my house. It's Nevada. I was military, so that to me doesn't mean that I feel unsafe in my home. Where I felt the most unsafe in prior years was more financially and coming back from deployment, that I had a great sense of loneliness. So I didn't feel safe to share what I had experienced with people that I felt safe with. So my safety was more in, can I trust you to tell you what happened? Or am I in a place where I can trust I'll be okay with safety? Like I feel safe if a big bill hits, I have the means to pay it without impacting my lifestyle. And so for me, safety meant more than just physical security.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I feel fairly safe in my community. So I focused more on the intimacy and the things that would help me through loneliness or financial insecurity.
Awesome. So everybody, you can tell why Annie and I are friends, because she's so brave and awesome. Just sharing that is just amazing. So safety, wow. So safety for me is such an interesting word, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I could write about it forever and keep discovering layers of this onion of safety. I have to agree with Annie that safety is partly for me, is really having people that know me, that I can just be who I am. Safety now for me, really, this listening to that moment between has really changed everything for me. And I'm realizing that safety for me is starting to come from inside in a really interesting way. I can, we've spoken about how I've lived all different places and worked all kinds of jobs and done all kinds of things. And I think I was looking for something. I was looking for outside, to feel safe from the outside. And the first minute I didn't feel safe, I would just go. I would just go. And so now what I'm realizing is, COVID hit and my job wasn't what it was supposed to be. And it didn't feel, I didn't know if I wanted to stay or not. And so but I'm realizing that it was just riding this wave. And I'm realizing that inside of me, I'm safe enough to find these places to ride these waves. Or I'm safe enough to be in a situation that isn't perfect and find, and, like we talked about, I think in the second episode, and reframe it and use it as practice to get back to the center of me. So, it's such a hard question to answer at this moment because I think it's shifting and changing for me as we're speaking, but I think it's such an important word. I think when you're choosing friends, safety is so important. I think when you let anybody in your life, safety is so important. When you're in your job, when you get triggered, chances are it's something that made you feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it, yeah, yeah. So like I'm thinking about the last person I dated, and wow, things would happen and I would just like not be who I was. Cause it just, I felt unsafe, not be who I want to be,
Yeah.
because I just felt unsafe. That was something would happen and I'd be like, that I would say that was not, that was an example of like not having a high emotional IQ. And then I would go to, I don't trust that person. I don't trust them to handle their emotions. But I'd be the one whose emotions were like, whoa, off the roof. So yeah. So it's just a weird thing. I think safety, yeah.
And it
There's so
evolves
many
throughout our
layers.
life. What's
Mhm.
safe to a 7-year-old is not safe to a 70-year-old.
Right, right, right. And it's gonna definitely be part of everything that's happened in our world, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, I've had people in my life who, um, like, there's 2 versions of them, right?
Yep.
So, that has taught me it takes me a lot to trust it in the past. It has taken me a lot to trust because 'cause I'm expecting the bomb to drop. I'm expecting, okay,
That
what's
facade to
the
go off.
real right, what's the real person under that mask? And so, like, I've been this kind of, like, paying super attention and, and it just
Hyper
wow.
vigilant.
Yeah, ever vigilant. What was that? What did she say? What did that did that have malice in it? You know? Like, this crazy running, program in this computer that is that safe? Is that not safe? Is that safe? Is that not safe?
And that
Craziness.
hypervigilance creates its own sequence of
Insanity.
events after it.
Insanity.
Insanity.
Definitely. Yeah. And so, yeah, safety and and I'm imagining that means a ton of things to different people,
Mhm.
you know? Financial, I imagine, is huge. Is huge.
Huge, huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with the clients that I see, it's interesting how whether it's parents, oh, it's not feeling safe around their parents or not feeling safe in their own marriage.
Yeah.
That also, the definition within that changes because you cannot feel safe with your marriage because you think that your partner is cheating, or you
Mhm.
cannot feel safe because they have an addiction, or you cannot feel safe because of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Like the word safety changes even within those subcategories.
Right. Wow. Powerful. Yeah.
Or it's the feeling of I'm not safe doing the right thing. So like a recovering
Mhm.
addict may not feel safe
Yeah. I
from
think
themselves.
yes. And I think that's been a part of my personal kind of thing is not feeling safe
Yeah.
in myself.
Yeah.
So when you know, somebody does something and I didn't feel safe not to react
Yeah. Yeah.
in a way that's not honorable and who I really want to be. And so, working to strengthen this inner me is helping me with that. Back to those 2 words, I'm going to be grateful, I'm going to be free.
Yeah.
And so, but it's funny because I had a death in the family and I was going to go see my family and I haven't seen them very much because of COVID. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to color my hair." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel judged."
Mm-hmm.
And so I am still, because I don't have it perfect, I'm still working on reframing that and walking into that space and just being me and whatever happens, happens. But, to realize I better color my hair. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to be accepted,
Yeah.
is my
It's
thought
the rules you
process.
choose to live by.
Exactly. And that's me. That's an example of me giving my power away.
Mhm. Now, for those watching, because I want to sort of like have a caveat to that, because some people, when I, with us, I think we tend to be more about building people up, right? Like the social work that you've done through the years, it's usually with what I've seen, what I remember it was usually kids, youth that had a huge gap in feeling safe, feeling seen.
Hmm.
So you've had really high risk youth, or individuals um, with different abilities.
Hmm. Thank you.
And I have worked a lot with, because of the metaphysical arena, I work almost exclusively with empaths, and most empaths have had some kind of trauma.
Hmm.
And and so how we're seeing the world is very different. Our view, our lens is very different.
Hmm. Hmm. Right, because we're knowing that in order to do our job, people have to feel safe.
Safe.
So, that's evolved for me in a really big way. So, went back and got my social work degree as an older person.
As an older person,
As an
I'm
older
pretty sure I
person.
got my degree too as an older
Older
person.
person. And so, but even then, I was still like, Miss, put on the cape.
Yeah,
I'm going to rescue you. I know what's best for you. Like, I still had this weird way of being. And it has evolved into, and I've always said we need to make a safe nest.
yeah,
I've always said that. But now I realize that I'm holding that nest.
yeah.
And if people choose to land in it, they do. And if they don't, they don't. So it's not about me going and finding and pushing and pulling and doing anything. I'm here, but it's an agreement between the two of us, and the other person has to want it. I'm going to dinner tomorrow night with a woman that I've worked with who I haven't heard from in forever, who just got accepted to a college and through someone else got invited to dinner, and then I got invited. And I'm going to go there tomorrow, and I'm talk about reframing. I'm so excited that she hasn't been in touch with me, because that means her life is going well.
Yeah.
I was part of her life when she was struggling, and now it's going well.
Yeah, it's not about you. It's removing you.
Right. I'm this safe nest
Yeah.
for her to land in,
So
no
go back
matter
to your
what.
nest. Put the
Yeah.
nest back up,
Yeah.
right? Part of empowerment too is saying, here's a safe place for you to come and struggle. And I'm not going to
Mhm.
solve it for you, but I'm going to be that empowerment coach that stands by you and helps coach you as you figure it out. I trust
Right.
you enough to know
Yeah.
that through your struggle, you'll figure it out.
Yes. And that's empowerment. And that's the difference between this putting on this cape and rescuing.
Yep.
Because I'm saying I know better than you
Yep. I don't
when I did
trust
that.
you to figure it out on your own.
I don't trust you. Yeah. And that's not safe.
No, no, that's not safe at all. Why would I want to come unraveled in front of someone that thinks they're above me?
Yes.
I want to
And
come
they know
unraveled.
my answers. Right. Right.
Yeah.
What? But it's all these processes as humans.
Yep.
So yeah. Yeah. I used to have the cape. But I actually danced one time. So I like to ecstatic dance, and I actually danced one time, ripping that cape off, throwing it on the ground, and stomping on it so that I never pick it up again.
Oh.
Because Annie gave me a book called Mantras in Motion, I now use motion to do lots of things. And I like dance. I'm not picking that up again. I'm not, that cape is garbage. Yeah. Yep. So I think, what are we asking our viewers to do this week?
I think we, that's a great question. What are we asking?
So maybe it's just about journaling on safety.
Yeah.
I think if we ask you to sit down for 10 or 20 minutes, stream of consciousness writing, just safety. This is what safety means to me. And then we're going to, I think, what do you think of this, Annie? And then you just don't think, you just write. You let spirit
Automatically.
go right through you, stream of consciousness writing. No, you don't have to dot every I and cross every T. It doesn't even have to be spelled right. It doesn't have to have punctuation, whatever, just whatever continues to flow. And I'd be curious. I'd love to hear, we'd love to see what you want to share
What you
in
want to share, yeah.
reference to that. Yeah. What safety, what you found out. And I'm actually going to do this because it's been a long time since I've done anything like that. Yeah. And I feel like I was struggling to answer that question because I don't really know. Yeah.
And you talked about dancing. So I think our next topic, we should be about dancing and meditation and connecting through motion.
Awesome. I love it. But you knew that. All right, everybody. So great. So glad to have you with us.